You call that a ferro rod? No. That's a ferro rod.
Hi everyone, just thought I would show you all my new ferro rod I've just finished making. It is a 12-inch long, half-inch thick mesh metal ferro rod with an ornamental crocodile leather and crocodile teeth handle. Yes, I know it's a bit eccentric, but then again, I'm a bit eccentric. Started off by getting a pipe the same diameter as this ferro rod and wrapping the leather around it, finding where it will overlap and drilling through it. I used a rod because I really did not want to drill into ferrocerium. That just seems like a very bad idea, because if it starts to spark, that could have had disastrous consequences. So once I had all the holes drilled in there, I took it off the rod and I hand stitched it with some thick waxed cotton upholstery thread, which wasn't the most beautiful look. The rise there where it overlaps was not very aesthetic, so I covered it up by gluing on a pair of crocodile teeth. Now, yes, I do have teeth that would have covered that in just one. I even have ones that would have been sticking out, but I'm saving the really long ones for necklaces and in my hat. So these are pretty decent sized ones. In fact, I'm pretty certain this one was in my hat before it stretched. Became a bit too small, but well, before the hat band stretched and it became a bit too small, but I reckon it looks pretty good. Then there's a tiny little gap in the top. Oh, I should also show, I made a crocodile leather plug to go on the top, so it's not showing ferrocerium at the end, and it just looks a lot nicer. And I reckon it looks a lot nicer to have the plug in there with a little bit, with the side of the leather showing around it on top, than to have a large plug on top where you can see the inside leather all the way around. But there was a small gap, so I added an attachment point for a lanyard, which is a piece of crocodile leather that I thinned out so it would fit down in that shaft, filled the shaft with some PVA glue, forced the leather strip down in there, looped it around, had to thin it out in that section so it would actually bend, drilled a pair of holes and stitched it. So it does flex quite a bit, and now in hindsight I may in the future remove that bit and just make sure that the sheath that it goes onto has an overlapping flap that will stop it from being able to come out. I'm planning on decorating this sheath with a lot of crocodile leather and having loops to thread this ferro rod down the side of it. And now I'm thinking it might be better if I just had a piece of leather come out over and clip on to the loop. So there'd be a loop going across there and another loop coming up over the top and clamping on so that the ferro rod can't fall out. Just face it, that's a lot of ferro rod to lose. I'm not entirely sure. I'll leave it for now. I can always take it off in the future. And of course it's got this one little tail scale just sticking out there. And I reckon as far as custom ferro rod handles go, this is pretty alright. Not entirely impressed with that loop there. That's not really too pleased with that. I think I might even take some leather dye just to get rid of these light spots where the leather dye wasn't able to penetrate, or the bits where there's a bit of harder material inside of it, along with on the top. You just kind of cover up those cuts. But I don't know. I quite like the look of crocodile leather on a Ferro Rod handle, and which I've done a few other times. So just thought I would make this little video, let you have a look at it. She is lovely. And very, very big. Like I said, that's 12 inches long, half an inch wide. There's more ferrocerium. There's more ferrocerium hidden underneath of that leather wrapping than in some ferro rods I see for sale. So there's more like 11 inches sticking out, which is still a monstrous amount of ferrocerium, especially when you're trained to light your fire with one spark each time. Though, personally I like to be able to do it within 3 strikes. Not with one this long. I mean, with a normal size ferrocerium rod. I like to be able to do it within 3 strikes though. Preference is just 1. So I highly doubt I would ever wear this thing out. It's just too big. And, I don't know. And so, gave it a gorgeous little handle on top. Hey everyone, please leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I hope you guys have a good one. See yous.